My name's Hannah.
And I'm JC.
And this is our van, Vicky.
Vicky is a 2007 35 S12 Iveco Daily in the medium wheelbase. And we bought her at the end of 2017 with the intention to convert her into a camper van. We spent about 7 months doing the build. We started off only ever getting to be able to work at weekends and when we could get time off work and having completely zero DIY skills. We couldn't even drill a screw in straight. But after scouring through YouTube and a lot of trial and error, we managed to develop the skills to turn it into our own home. So when we first bought the van, one of the first things we did was install this window on the side. It was actually a surprisingly easy job to do. It's really easy to cut through the mesh of the van, and then with some really strong adhesive, it just sticks on in place. But it brings loads and loads of light into the inside of the van, which is great. So up on our roof, we have 3 100-watt solar panels, which charge our 2 110 amp hour AMG batteries. And we found that having 3 really big panels allowed us to still pull in charge, even on overcast days like today. So on our rear door we've mounted our spare wheel, and this is mounted on there literally just with 3 long bolts through some holes in the back door, a supporting plate on the inside, and just bolted that straight on there. This has worked out really well. It's not warped the door, it hasn't caused any damage to any of the hinges or anything, and it's a really cheap alternative to buying a proper rear mounted spare wheel holder or undermounting the wheel. So when we first bought the van, one of the issues with it was that the sliding door didn't work at all. The guy that owned it before ran a furniture business and only ever took the furniture out the back doors, so never bothered to repair it. But all we needed to do was buy a £20 bracket off of eBay, stick that on, oil up the runners, and it works absolutely perfectly now.
Okay, so first we have our kitchen area. Over here is our sink and tap. This is from IKEA. And we have over here our inlet for filling up our water tank. In this cupboard here is where we actually have our 70-litre water tank, as well as our grey water tank. And we also have a water filter in here which takes out sediment, flavour and odours. It's just like a house water filter. And if we go over to this side of the kitchen, we've got our Dometic 3-way fridge which runs off 12 volt. And in here we've got our freezer section, and we've also got just our fridge space. It's just enough room to store amount of food for about 3-4 days. We just put this little cupboard space in down here just for extra height so we didn't have to bend so low down for the fridge, which works really well for our shoes. And then moving back up to our kitchen countertops, these are also from IKEA. We custom cut these ourselves from a standard size and just cut them to fit the sizes that we need for our space. JC also made this really cool drawer with a little catch to stop the drawer opening while we drive. It stores all of our cutlery and all the things we need to cook with. The next thing we have is our cupboard spaces. So up here we just have like some condiments and stuff. Really handy, we have these push clips. Once they're closed, it stops the cupboard from flying open. Pots and pans in here. This one we've got dry foods and tins of food, so that is a massive space. Great. We also have these Metro ceramic tiles with a black grout, which we fitted ourselves for the first time. It was a pretty fun job. We didn't realise how quickly the tiles actually stick to the wall, so by the time we got some of our spaces in, we had a few little wonky tiles because the things had already dried. But it's a learning experience and we think they look really good after. Then we also put in this kitchen roll holder. We have this elastic band that goes over it where we drive, because we've had incident before where all of the kitchen roll actually unrolled onto the floor. Got one of these now, little elastic band. Over here we have our magnetic strip which holds all of our kitchen utensils. We did have knives on there originally, but somebody told us don't drive where you have knives on there in case they fly off, so that's changed now. Next we've got this little cupboard space which we wanted a little cutout hole because I just thought it looked really nice to have books on display, just as a little change up from everything being so closed up. We also have some LED lights fitted underneath, which this little controller is for. We have it on this kind of orange setting. It just looks really pretty in the evenings. There's obviously all different colours that we have it on, and sometimes we fancy disco, we just put this on. And then inside here we've got our easy access cupboard space, which is actually huge. It's got our camping chairs as well as our camping stove. And the great thing with our camping stove means that we don't have something fitted constantly in the kitchen, means that we can take the camping stove outside and cook outside on this little table here. We just have to unscrew here. We can either have it on the floor depending on the level of the ground, or we can tuck it under here. And then this bit comes down here and attaches there like that, and then we just put our little camping stove on here and we can cook outside. So over this side we've got our little switch panel. These are our LED lights for inside, which are actually really bright at night time, so we tend to just have the back ones on when we have dinner. And then we've got our water pump, which allows the water to run. It's pretty simple. And then our outside switch for our external light, because at night if we need any light outside the van, we've got it and it's really bright. And then we've got our control panel for our S-Bar D2 diesel heater, which is just under the passenger seat. We've also added some safety features to our van, one being a carbon monoxide and smoke alarm, which we just bought from Amazon. I think it was only about £20. And then down here we've also got this fire extinguisher, just a mini one in case we need it in emergency. Behind the driver's seat we just have this curtain that is actually blackout material in a grey colour, and we just pop it up here like this. And then it separates the front of the cab from the rest of the van, and then at night it keeps all of the warm air in here, and it gets a little bit colder in the cab area, so it's nice to separate it. Extra privacy and stops light coming in. We also installed a Fiamma crystal turbo vent, which is just our fan up here which blows air in and out. It's really great for cooling the van when it's hot, or when we're cooking, taking the hot air out of the van. So moving on to the second part of the van. Over here we've got our cupboards. I've got my clothes in this cupboard. This is our underwear, and then JC's got his clothes in his cupboard, which is a bit messy, so I'll probably close the door. So down here we've got our bench seats, and the padding is just a king-size mattress from IKEA cut into 4 pieces. It's quite a thick foam, which means that when we sit on it we're not leaving indents in the seat, and we've just been rotating them when we sleep on them. So onto the foam mattresses we've added this fabric, which I found in a fabric shop, and I've added poppers onto the backs of them, which means we can easily remove them if we need to wash them. So we've got 6 boxes under here which all have lift up lids. In this cupboard we've got cleaning products and toilet rolls and things like that, kitchen rolls. In this one we've got tools, and then in here we've got 2 big laundry bags to take to the laundrette. In this box we've got our bedding. Middle one we've kind of got miscellaneous bits. We've got some towels, some gym things, some boxing gloves, and then this one we've got our electric system and inverter. Our 1000 watt inverter allows us to charge laptops, run on NutriBullet, or anything we run off a main supply. And we also have these USB charging ports, which we can just charge any USB devices with. We put them in these places here because we thought in bed mode they're easy to get to charge our phones at night. And down here we've got our solar charge controller, which tells us how much power we're pulling in through our solar panels, and also the charge of our batteries. Over here we've got our table, and the tabletop is the same as our kitchen. It's from IKEA, which is 1 meter long. We've got it attached to a table leg from Lagoon. It just allows the table to spin 360 and also move back and forth, so we could walk straight through the van, and we didn't have any sort of mounted table leg on the floor or anything that gets in the way. When we have our bed mode, it means that we have this piece of table which detaches from the leg really easily, and that just drops down to fit on these beams here. And then we have this little piece of wood which pops out and again sits on here, which also could double up for another seat. We've also got another hidden piece of wood which is just behind the driver's seat, which sits at the foot end of the bed, and that creates a big king-size bed. So we just went with a vinyl wood effect floor panel. These fit just in strips, and we just cut them to fit in alternating lengths so that you get that kind of natural wood panel effect that you would see in normal wooden floors. They were pretty cheap. They were just from Homebase before it shut down. RIP Homebase. We just added a few little details like finishing touches to the van, like this little shelf from IKEA, and some faux foliage because we don't get much natural light in here, so we thought some fake plants we can't kill would be great. So you may have noticed we don't have a shower or toilet in here. The reason being we just wanted a nice big open space and didn't have to worry about any kind of moisture getting into the van or anything like that. Plus we didn't know how much we'd be using it. So we actually got a camping toilet which we just store in this cupboard, but we've never actually used it. We've always managed to find somewhere to use the toilet. Public toilets and petrol stations, same with showers, gyms, campsites, beach showers, things like that. And we just like the fact that there's just so much open space. So the reason we wanted to do this 6-month trip was just because we wanted to travel to as many countries as possible in Europe, because we've never done anything like this before.
The advantage of building your own camper van is that nobody tells you the rules of what you can and cannot do. You can build it exactly to the taste that you want. And yeah, it's super affordable to do as well. The biggest thing that surprised me about this is how little you can spend and still have a van that would work completely perfectly and make you completely comfortable. It's been an awesome way to see so much of Europe that we never would have thought we'd gone to before. Yeah, go out, buy a van, convert it into a camper, and go and see the world. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We really hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and click that subscribe button for more videos like this, and we'll see you next time.